Episode 291 of the Morning Skate. Don't you worry, we said we'd be back, and we are fucking back. You got your host, Ked. I probably just said something just a wee bit problematic, but we're going to figure it out.
I think we're okay.
I'm putting ice on the old fucking quad right now. That'll definitely be a zero the week later as I talk about how fucking old I'm getting. But, yeah, episode 291. It's Thursday. Do you remember last epi where we're like, hey, I'm kind of in one? Like, you know, maybe I'm going to kind of start dialing it back. Well, I had a boat day, so if you like me in 290, you're going to get the same Ked in 291. I am joined by my co-host, Brownie. Brownie, what's going on?
You just call me a hoe?
If only you knew what was going on in my life right now, Adam. I've never called you Adam before. That was weird. That was weird. How's everything going with you, man? It's been a couple days.
Good. Just another day outside, buddy. Living the dream. It was actually beautiful out. I'm working on a house. I'm working on a house right now. I'll send you pictures. It was sorely in need of some TLC, and this house is
tables, ladders, and chairs for the people at home.
Yep. This house is fucking beautiful. It looks so good, and I'm biased, but she is so happy, the homeowner, and it just looks so good. We're doing like little.
Do you have before and afters or no?
Oh yeah. But I'm doing like some like little Victorian touches and little different accent colors. It looks awesome.
If you're in the Massachusetts area, just make sure that you're hitting up Brownie for any home good needs. This guy, he does good shit, dude, and he has really cool apparel. So that's something I respect about him.
There you go.
Again, it's been a couple days. We talked Vegas last time, and now we're going to talk a whole lot of NHL stuff. If you've made it this far, I haven't been canceled yet, so shout out to me and my brain. And we're just going to kind of get into it because I don't want to say anything else that's going to be problematic. So, Mea Culpas.
Hi, this is Mea Culpa, and I'm here to introduce the Morning Skates Mea Culpas with Ked and Brownie.
So, Jonathan Marchessault was the second undrafted player to ever win the Conn Smythe since the modern draft was implemented in 1969. The first was Wayne Gretzky. And I say right here, story and attachment, but I forgot the other piece of paper upstairs, so I'm not going to go get it. But I think I got it remembered. Okay. Do you know Wayne Gretzky was an undrafted player in the NHL?
Yes. It was like a weird thing. I did, yeah, because they brought that up like in an interview or some shit, which is bizarre. But yeah,
because of the the World Hockey League, WHL merger?
Was that WHA?
WHA, yeah, WHA. And the merger, so he was undrafted also. So Jonathan Marchessault and Wayne Gretzky. When we talked about life skills, the class I should be teaching, these are some other ones that I thought of. I think these are important. You should learn basic cooking. I think that's important.
What's that? Like
how to scramble eggs, how to make a steak, stuff like that. How to make burgers.
Definitely.
And then to go right along with that, how to tell when fruit is ripe. I feel like that is a very low-key important skill.
I'm okay with that. I also think that everybody should do military time, and everybody should be able to tell where they are using a compass.
Oh, that's a good one. Read a map.
Yeah.
Like an old map.
Yeah.
How to do laundry and how to iron. Important.
I'm bad at ironing. I can iron okay. I can iron enough where it looks way better than it did before, but in terms of like perfect ironing, nah. Shout out to Dave. Dave taught me not that long ago.
And then basic first aid and how to take care of a drunk friend.
Yeah, I think so. Put them on their side.
I think those are basic life skills. Because when I was an EMT, you wouldn't believe how many people call 911 now in college when their friend's too drunk. Instead of just putting the kid to bed and rolling him on his side, they call 911.
Yep.
Yeah. That was that. Matthew Tkachuk was 6 overall at that draft we talked about. And then the last one is 3 things your mom and my wife think would be arrested for.
Oh, yeah.
Do your homework?
Yeah, I called my mom.
So for those that don't remember, we said we were talking about being arrested, and we said we will ask your mom, my wife, what the 3 things, like if I called you and said, hey, I got arrested, what were the 3 things that you think they would be for?
So my mom, first thing, without even skipping a beat, was a DWI. I was like, Ma. And she's like, I don't like how much you've been drinking. So that's the first one. My second one was burning down an apartment complex because of a pizza. And then my third one was an uninspected vehicle. Those were the 3 things.
My wife had no hesitation either. And she said road rage incident, someone like cut me off or didn't wave thank you. The wave thank you bothers me more than anything else when I'm driving, to be honest.
Drives me fucking. Or you hold the door for somebody for a little long and they don't say thank you when they walk in. I want to slam the door.
But at least those people you can say you're welcome, and when you're driving, you can't.
Oh, I don't say it like that. I say you're fucking welcome. Like I don't like that. I'll stir the pot with anybody trying to walk into a business.
So she said road rage would be 3. Number 2 would be caught stealing something from Lowe's or Home Depot when I get annoyed that no one will help me and I just walk out with stuff.
Yep.
And then she said the number 1, she goes, bar fight. And I go, don't you think I'm a little old to be getting in bar fight? She goes, don't you think you're a little too old to be getting in a bar fight?
Better than a DWI, dude. That kind of made me reevaluate some shit. Like, God damn it, Mom.
Oh, mom's cut to the quick, man.
I still haven't gotten one. So
knock on wood 3 times with your right hand.
Well, no, I mean, I'll tell you what. I think everybody is kind of a shithead when they're younger, and they think, no, nothing's gonna happen to me. I Uber everywhere now. Like if I'm even remotely fucked up, I don't even think twice about it. Fucking $30 is a lot better than how I don't even know how much something like that would cost.
I think there's a stat like if you get a drunk driving. Well, Massachusetts, every state's probably a little different. I think by the court fees, the lawyer fees, and everything, I think a DWI costs $10,000.
Yeah, so I clearly do not have 10 grand. So,
yeah.
Thanks, Mom. Love you too. Love you too. NHL on the news.
Fire it up. I want to point out about the document. I want to point something out to you.
Okay.
So the first 2 stories are Anaheim and Chicago. And I'm like, I'll put this in alphabetical order. That's as far as I went. And I was like, what am I doing? So anyway, go ahead.
So Anaheim, they've hired Greg Cronin as the new head coach, replacing Dallas Eakins. This is Cronin's first NHL head coaching position, as he most recently was the head coach of the Colorado Avalanche affiliate. He played 4 years at Colby College. I'm pretty sure that's Division III. And then moved on to coaching in Hockey East, Western Collegiate Hockey Association, the AHL, and he was an assistant in the NHL. So, shout out to Greg Cronin. Never heard of him. See how it goes.
You want to see new guys instead of the retreads, right?
I don't. I hate the people that pretend like all these analytic nerds are gonna fucking do better than.
Well, you don't know if this guy's an analytic nerd. No one knows.
No, he might not be. I just hate the fucking analytic.
I know what you're saying, but instead of like trotting out the same fucking 5 guys every time there's a vacancy, I'd like to see them give an AHL guy a shot. You know?
Yeah, I'm okay with an AHL guy. He's kind of earned his stripes.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm with that. The Chicago Blackhawks have re-signed the most relevant player in the league, Andreas Athanasiou, 2 years, $4.25 million a year for a guy who is a giant bitch. So good for the Blackhawks re-signing.
They have money to burn.
100%. Right, but if you remember, this is a guy that Trouba put in a fucking body bag last year. The fact that the media even talks to this guy, what a clown. But I mean, good for him. He makes way more money than I do. So, Ottawa has a new owner. Toronto-based billionaire Michael Andlauer,
I think it's Andlauer,
has purchased the club for a cool $950 million. He's been a minority owner of the Montreal Canadiens and owns the Brantford Bulldogs, which he bought and moved from Belleville to Hamilton in 2015. It must be nice to have that much money. If anytime I see these numbers, I just automatically hate who it is.
All right.
Are any of these dudes who make a ton of money that cool? And also, I
will say this. The guy, we'll talk about it when we get to Arizona. I don't have the guy's name, but the guy who owns what's the basketball team in Utah? Jazz?
Yeah.
The guy who owns the Jazz, I heard an interview of him on the 32 Thoughts podcast. He seems like a real fan, like someone you were like, oh, that guy he seemed like he'd be a good owner.
Okay. So well, good for him. It sucks it's not Snoop Dogg or Ryan Reynolds. A little bit. Right. Less of a name. I'm sure this guy went and explored the Titanic with how much money he has. But the Hockey Hall of Fame class has been announced. Henrik Lundqvist, Tom Barrasso, the Penguins, Mike Vernon, Calgary, Detroit, Pierre Turgeon, Islanders, Caroline Ouellette, Canada, and Pierre Lacroix. He was a builder, and Ken Hitchcock. Ouellette, you might not know who he is, but he's a 4-time. God damn it. She's a 4-time Olympic gold medalist, 12-time IIHF women's world medalist, 6 gold, silvers. Six gold, 6 silver. Yep. A 12-time Four Nations medalist, 8 gold, 4 silver, 4 times Clarkson Cup champion. She is already a member of the IIHF Hall of Fame. Seems like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Lacroix was a former GM of the Quebec Nordiques and Colorado Avalanche. Was there for the move from Quebec to Colorado. Built 2 comps in '96 and 2001. Passed away from complications from COVID in 2020. Sad.
This is the go ahead. Finish. Do the last thing, then I'll say.
Well, it's weird how you didn't put the person who should be getting a lot of shine. So Henrik Lundqvist, 459 wins, sixth all time.
Reason those two people let me just explain. The reason
2.43 goals against average and 918 save percentage, 64 shutouts. The only goaltender in history to record 11 30-win seasons in his first 12 seasons. Most wins by a European goaltender, and his stats in Game 7. 8 games played, 6 wins, and 1.11 goals against, and 961 save percentage and a shutout. But you want to know what? That probably wasn't worth talking about. So
the reason the other two I dove into because everybody else is familiar with the others, except for those two. They aren't as commonly known.
Those stats. The king.
Well,
this
Mike
is the
Burns
dumbest
got 2
fucking
cups.
thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Alex McGillney should be in the fucking Hall of Fame. It's insane that he's not there. I don't know what he must have fucked somebody's wife because there's no reason that this guy shouldn't be in the Hall.
Anti-Russia pushback?
No, because there's plenty of Russians in the fucking Hall.
Well, actually, though, if he defected from Russia, wouldn't that be?
That's what I'm saying. He had to have done something to fucking fuck with the wrong dude. There's no other reasoning.
Secretive. The Hall of
Fame.
He
was so good. Like, he was so fucking. He was the first one to do it.
Take his skill out of it. You could make the argument he deserves to go for being the first player to defect from Russia alone.
It's insane. Insane that guy's not in the Hall. So
yeah, there you go.
San Jose Sharks, some people never learned. 20 years ago, the Sharks, they traded with their third-string goalie. Guess who that was? Mika Kirpasov, who had just turned 27. I didn't know that for a draft pick. He immediately led his new team to the Stanley Cup Finals, nearly won the Conn Smythe. 10 months ago, San Jose Sharks, they traded the third-string goalie. Guess who it was? Adin Hill, 26 years old, to Vegas for a draft pick. That sucks. Memorial Cup, the Quebec Ramparts got it done. They beat the Seattle Thunderbirds, and Patrick Roy heads out of town as a winning coach. He ended up, I think he just quit. I think he thought he was going to get an NHL job. It never happened.
He told them prior to the run, though. It wasn't like he just did it at the end.
So Seattle also traded TJ Ginla to the Kelowna Rockets for a first-round pick, and the Ramparts have announced that former Flyer Simone Gagne has been named new GM of the club. So pretty cool shit.
Yeah.
Montreal made some pretty good moves, I think. Cole Caulfield, 8 years, 7.85 AAV for a guy who can fucking light up the score sheet. Sean Monahan, 1-year extension worth 1.985. I feel like he's fallen a lot.
I still think that's a good deal for Sean Monahan if he can stay healthy.
Yeah.
I mean, for the team, that's a team-friendly deal.
Edmonton, they signed Derek Ryan, 2-year contract extension, AAV, $900K. He's kind of a Curtis Lazar kind of player.
Yeah, that's accurate, yeah.
What is this? Seattle unveiled plans for a new rink? Did they just get a rink?
This is their Iceplex. You got to read the thing, brother.
$80 million Iceplex. The massive site features 3 NHL-sized rinks, 12 locker rooms, a team's training facility, a bar, and, of course, a Starbucks. Probably a place. Never mind. I'm not going to say that. The Kraken have their own locker room and facilities dedicated to strength, recovery, medical, and coaching. The building services the team's corporate HQ and home to the business and hockey operations. There are also plans to engage the community with park space, hotels, apartments, dining, bike trails, and hair dyeing right outside. So shout out to Seattle.
Well, I will say this, though. Stuff like this can make the difference for a player where they're choosing to go. Would you rather walk into this or the Saddle Dome?
I would never go to Seattle no matter what. But I think it's more for the community because Nashville does a really, really good job with their rinks and shit too, where it kind of got things.
They have to. It's a non-traditional market. So, yeah.
Seattle kind of is too. What do you think?
Yeah. Got to work a little harder.
So I think that's pretty cool for the area around there.
Yeah.
Connor Bedard continues to make history. The former Regina Pats center and presumed #1 pick won the CHL top prospect, top scorer, David Branch Player of the Year award. It's the first time since the top scorer award was introduced in '94 that a player has won all 3 awards in a single season. We can call that the Triple Crown. Yeah. Continuing to add to his hardware, Bedard also was named the IIHF Male Player of the Year. Pretty good fucking player. They asked him, I saw recently, if you could play with any players, who would it be? And he said Sidney Crosby and Jordan Eberle, because he was
it was a
former Regina Pat.
Yeah.
Pretty cool shit. Philadelphia change is coming. New GM Daniel Briere is making moves. They sent Ivan Provorov and Hayden Hodgson to LA Kings for Cal Peterson, Sean Walker, Helge Grands, and a second-round pick. They also sent Kevin Connaughton to Columbus for a first-round pick and a conditional second-round pick for Kevin Connaughton.
Keep reading.
You got a first?
Yeah.
Holy fuck. The Kings then flipped Provorov to the Blue Jackets for Connaughton straight up, but LA Kings retained 30% of the Provorov salary. So, okay, that kind of makes a little bit more sense. Okay. They've also named Patrick Sharp and John Leclerc to the positions of special advisor to hockey operations. And per multiple insiders, are now actively shopping Carter Hart, not Hart, Carter Hart. So, Philly's making moves. That's what they need to do, right?
I think you're going to see Kevin Hayes go out the door.
Have to.
I think he's going to end up in Columbus. They seem to be have a good working relationship with Columbus.
Yeah.
And him and Gaudreau are boys.
New York Rangers, we're going to talk Rangers really quick. If you happen to be, fuck you, Brownie. If you happen to be in Stockholm and you're into what I can guess is techno, make sure to swing by the DJ stage to hear Mika Zibanejad on the turntables for, what was it, Lollapalooza? What a fucking pussy that guy is. Oh my God.
Do you know? I have no idea, but I assume it's techno. Do you have any idea what he lit?
I don't think Marchand, Bergeron, or Pasternak's going to be DJing this summer. That's all I'm going to say. They also announced Peter Laviolette as a new head coach. It's not on here, but I'm going to let you know.
Right,
They also named Michael Pekka assistant coach and Phil Housley assistant coach.
Yeah.
Two pretty big moves. Mike Pekka, 200-foot center, had a lot of grit to his game. He played for the Islanders. I think he played under Laviolette when he brought the Islanders to the playoffs.
Oh, maybe.
Cup final. And then Phil Housley, correct me if I'm wrong, was he head coach of the Sabres for a brief stint before he was fired? But
I remember him as a Winnipeg Jet, though. Winnipeg Jets.
He might be I don't know if it's him or Leach. He might be the number one American defenseman in points. I think. I would look it up. I feel pretty confident about it. If he's not number one, he's in the top 5. Phil Housley's got points. So if you're the Rangers, I like the fact that they're bringing in a new assistant coach, but new assistant coach with pedigree. Mike Pekka, he's been coaching the Rochester Americans for a bit too. So I do like to see that. They've done the coaching circuit before. Peter Laviolette, when it was kind of a funny press conference, he kept talking about how the Rangers had a ton of skill, but also said that they didn't know how to compete, which was the best way to say that they're soft as fuck.
Yeah.
I love to hear.
I will say this: the one thing Laviolette will do is he will give them a little bit of a snarl. He's one of those coaches though that his message gets through for the first 2 seasons.
Well, they signed him for 3 years, and what I like to hear is he said that he believed that you can teach, compete, and battle in practice, where every day they're going to be doing it. You have to establish a habit of playoff hockey, essentially. So, everything that he said in the thing was sick. He said that Lafreniere and Capo, they need to be given the opportunity for more ice time, but they have to earn it, which I thought was pretty cool. Yeah, I know everything.
The only thing that a coach can do is limit ice time. It's their only weapon.
Yeah.
Although I don't know if you saw that Panarin's clearly taking everything seriously. He said his hair was holding him down. And he shaved his head. Did you see that?
Russian gas, dude. He actually did say that. The Cup Finals being played between the last 2 teams to fire Gallant before we got to New York, so the Rangers are on the right path. We will see. And there was a documentary, Open Heart, premiered at the 2023 Tribeca Festival about Henrik Lundqvist. My life was about what can I do to win, but you come to a point where the game will end and life will continue, and how do you win in life? I mean, that's Hall of Famer Henrik Lundqvist to you. So,
is there anyone that says anything bad about Lundqvist?
Yeah, my buddy Jay, who is a Carey Price guy. Anybody who thinks Carey Price is the best goalie of that generation will fucking sue Henrik Lundqvist.
Fair enough.
The World Para Hockey Championships, the U.S. and Canada squared off for gold in the championship in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan Sunday. 6th straight final between the 2 rivals, with the U.S. holding a 4-2 advantage in the series coming in. That didn't change as the U.S. squad walloped the Canadians 6-1 to take gold for the 3rd straight championship. Keep the change. Tourney MVP Declan Farmer, cool name, scored twice and had 9 goals in 5 games played over the tournament. Owns a career national team record with more than 250 points. He's pretty good. So,
yeah, I'd like to see it.
The Kings agreed to a 2-year extension with defenseman Vladislav Gavrikov, 5.87 AAV. The 27-year-old blue liner was set to be a UFA July 1st. So they got him from Columbus for the playoff push. They liked what they saw clearly and signed to a couple years. So
now Provorov with him.
Yep. The CHL is debuting some rule changes to be implemented. Penalties will last the full 2 minutes, even if multiple goals are scored. Goals scored on delayed penalties do not cancel the upcoming power play. A shorthanded goal ends a minor penalty.
You don't like any of this?
No, this is just people being fucking bored. This is just.
Well, I will say the goal scored on delayed penalty does not cancel the upcoming power play. That's NCAA rule too.
I fucking hate people that are running the things that are happening right now. It's Arizona ready to move. The Utah Jazz owner, I saw this. Ryan Smith has been
Oh,
making
that's his
the
name,
rounds,
Ryan Smith. There it is.
making it well known that they're ready to welcome an NHL team to Utah, which would be kind of cool. The team announced that they had bought out both Zach Cassian and Patrick Nemeth, who each had 2 years remaining on their deals. This leaves the cupboard even more bare for the Yotes, who currently have more 2023 draft picks 12 than they do signed players 11. Everything's fine in Gary's desert sandbox.
I mean, what are you doing? I feel like this is like, was it South Park when the Paris Hilton, all her little pets were trying to kill themselves? That's what like the Yotes mascot is doing.
Dude,
like, let me just die. Just let me die.
It's insane. Toronto in ever-increasing panic to sign Matthews. The Maple Leafs hired Shane Doan away from a sinking ship to fill a role as a special assistant to the GM.
Well, Matthews has been very vocal that Shane Doan, he loved him growing up. So,
AHL Championship, Coachella Valley Firebirds, Seattle versus the Hershey Bears. Washington, the Firebirds have asked their fans to boycott all chocolate until the series is over and even institute a chocolate for popcorn exchange program at their home games. Unfortunately for the Firebirds, that move didn't work out as the Hershey Bears won the Calder Cup in 7 games Wednesday night. Head coach Todd Nelson became only the third head coach to win 2 Calders, with different teams joining Bun Cook and John Paddock.
how great a name is Bun Cook for a coach?
Yeah, it ain't bad. I've definitely heard worse. Outdoors in Jersey, the Stadium Series coming to New Jersey at the MetLife Stadium. 2 games. Saturday, February 17th, the Devils will host the Flyers in their first ever outdoor game in New Jersey. Sunday, the Rangers will take on the Islanders. The league has promised musical acts to take place during intermission and shut the fuck up. Who cares?
Well, no, they were saying it's supposed to be like big acts. Everybody's like Springsteen, Bon Jovi.
How about this? Ready for this one? I'm going to solve all this. Do
All right.
one outdoor game a year. You know who plays in the outdoor game? The Stanley Cup final the previous year.
Oh, the 2 teams that made the Stanley Cup final. Oh, that would be good, actually.
Earn it.
Actually, you could even do like a home and home over a weekend.
Earn it.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Good brain.
We could have it in like a rotating sites like the Super Bowl.
So I have good brain, but Tom Fitzgerald has bad brain. He re-signed Jesper Bratt to an 8-year extension, $7.875 AAV. $63 million is his number. That guy did absolutely diddly dink. He did as much as I have done ever in an NHL.
Well, speaking of tiddly dink, continue reading.
He also said he's spoken to Timo Meier, and Myers expressed wanting to stay in Jersey for the next 8 years. Per reports, Myers has instructed his agent to work on an 8-year deal. So I saw this, all dumb, and then I saw something that actually really scared me. Did you see the number 1 spot that Connor Hellebuck's rumored to go to?
New Jersey. Yeah.
That would hurt.
The other one that's talked about for Jersey is Barbashev.
I would be
at some point they won't have enough money, but
no. But Hellebuck, Jack Hughes, Luke Hughes scares me. NHL follow-ups. Per Deputy Commissioner NHL Bill Daly, the independent investigator has completed their work into the 2018 Canada World Junior Gala, and the league expect a report ready to review in early summer. Thanks, Bill.
it was a big statement about nothing.
Thanks, dude. Gary Bettman, likely the salary cap bump will remain at $1 million. The larger bump will come in the summer 2024. They've been telling us for fucking years. So,
yeah.
That's like the girl that maybe I'll go out on a date with you next year. The Florida Everblades, affiliate of the Panthers, are back-to-back Kelly Cup champions after dispatching the Idaho Steelheads on Friday with a third period comeback.
A week ago Friday.
Sorry. Calgary has promoted Ryan Huska as their new head coach. The official announcement should come Monday after the press conference.
Yeah, it already did.
He played 9 years in the minors, 1 game in Chicago before joining the coaching ranks. He coached 12 years in the WHL before jumping to AHL as a head coach for another 4 seasons. He's been the assistant coach for the Flames for the last 5 years. He's all tatted up. Pretty cool.
Talk about earning it. And this guy, he's gonna command some. Well, Calgary's a little bit of a dumpster fire right now. Continue. Sorry.
Noah Hannafin, 1 more year at $4.95 million. Tyler Toffoli, 1 more year at $4.25. Elias Lindholm, 1 more year at $4.85. Michael Backlund, 1 more year at $5.35. Have all informed the team that they're probably not coming back or have no interest in re-signing with the club. On to Pittsburgh.
No. You missed the good news for Calgary. I didn't catch on what you were doing.
McGinley's coming home. Jerome McGinley signed on as a special advisor to the GM. Asked about the McGinley signing, Craig Conroy, dating as far back as our playing days with the Flames, Jerome and I have always talked about one day working together in the NHL. That day is finally coming. I'm happy to welcome him back into Calgary. Jenkins wrote a blog about it. It's live. So
yeah, Jenkins, I would say one of our best writers, has a blog out about this today. Jenks is an excellent Excellent wordsmith.
I fucking Jenks. I mean, what more can you say about that kid? He's good people. He's good shit. Jason Spezza is with the Penguins. That guy can't. I feel like he's just attached to Kyle Dubas. It's a really, really bad fucking look. So ends up going to Pittsburgh. How did Jaromir Jagr drop to the Pens at 5th overall? Let's tell you. He idolized Mario Lemieux ever since seeing him play at the Worlds in Prague in 85 and even carried a pic of Lemieux in his wallet. Prior to the 90 draft, Jagr told Quebec, Owen Nolan, Vancouver, Peter Nedved, Detroit, Keith Primo, and Philadelphia, Mike Ricci, that he wasn't coming to the U.S. anytime soon, but told Pittsburgh he'd be there the day after the draft.
That's what he did.
Pretty crazy.
The legend of Jagr.
Free agents, Winnipeg shopping Mark Scheifele, Connor Hellebuck, and Pierre-Luc Dubois. Fuck Pierre-Luc Dubois, dude. I fucking hate that guy. He's like 24 years old. He's demanded 2 fucking trades. World Hockey had a really good
play for Montreal, and if you're Montreal, you have the leverage because he wants to come to you.
Yeah,
and you got to be careful giving him a big ticket because 2 years in, he's going to be like, I don't want to do this.
He's never put up more than 70 points.
But the thing is, when he plays, he's a difference maker. He's noticeable on the ice.
He's a
big, strong kid.
He's a French Canadian pussy, dude. That's
all right.
Bottom line. Ottawa has received a list of preferred trade destinations from Alex DeBrinket's agent as the 2 sides have stalled in their contract negotiations.
So I heard something today. Was it today?
Go back to Chicago?
No, I heard something. It just made me think of this.
We might be able to get DeBrinket on the fucking podcast, by the way.
Oh, yeah. I would like. He's a good player. I like him. I heard something today that they're talking about Barkov possibly not re-upping and Brady going to Florida.
Not a shot.
As a trade.
Not a shot.
I don't know. Oh, it would be fantastic to see
Calgary would be, or not Calgary. Ottawa would be so fucking dumb to do that.
I know, but they could.
Not a shot, but they could.
I just have holdout hope to see the Czech brothers play together.
Vancouver announced that they bought out the contract of Aller Magnus Larson. What a run. He had 4 years, $29 million left of his 8-year, $66 million contract. The Canucks will pay him $19.33 million over the next 8 years. If they had retained him, they would have paid him $18.5 over the next 2 years alone. Must be fucking nice to make that money.
So here's the thing about Ekman Larson. He's linked to the Bruins right now.
Always.
Because they basically, the thought is they can get him for the veteran minimum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's already making the money.
Yeah, exactly. So interesting. Keep an eye on that.
Columbus is expected to announce the hiring of Mike Babcock as their new head coach once his contract with Toronto expires July 1st, which is hilarious because Johnny Gaudreau thought he was going to have a walk in the park in Columbus.
I know.
With that in mind, the Provorov deal makes even more sense as Babcock was overruled at the Toronto draft table when the Leafs took Mitch Marner at 4 and Babcock wanted Provorov, who ended up going to Philadelphia at 7. Crazy.
That was a big thing. I remember that.
They also received Damon Severson in a sign and trade with Jersey for a 3rd-round pick. He is now signed for 8 years, $6.5 million for Damon Severson.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Looks like Columbus is building. I don't think that's a fucking solid blue line at all. You're paying. If Damon Severson's making $6.5 million a year, what is Ryan Lindgren going to make?
Well, Ryan Lindgren, Damon Severson.
Who do you want on your team, David Severson or fucking Ryan Lindgren?
But I would want Lindgren, obviously, but Lindgren doesn't play 82.
That is insane. Is that real? Is that a typo?
No, I don't think
He's making $6.5 million a year.
I guess I can look it up while we're talking.
That is insane. But they'll have Provorov, Severson, and Zach Werenski as, I guess, 3 of the top 4. I see – when I see that, I see a number 2 defenseman, a number 3 and 4, and a number 5 and 6. And you're paying a 5 and 6 defenseman $6.5 million. Damon Severson sucks. I don't care who the fuck you talk to.
8-year, $50 million contract with the Devils. That contract has a cap hit of 6.25. Then they flipped him. Yeah. That is correct, sir.
All right. The Colorado Avalanche have opened up as favorites for the Stanley Cup next year. I wish I could bet against it because Georgiev's still their coach. They're plus
not their coach, their goalie.
Sorry, plus 800. Biggest long shots are the Ducks at plus 25,000. The Florida Panthers are at 11 at plus 1,800, while the rest of the top 10 are in order: Edmonton, Boston, Toronto, Carolina, Jersey, Vegas, Rangers, Dallas, and Tampa. Get the futures in now. Whatever. McJesus and the Kid per Connor McDavid to the Hockey Beast. When I first played Sid, that was really exciting for me. My first year I got hurt. I missed both games against Sid. So my second year I go into Pittsburgh and play Sid, and we took the opening draw. The whole time I was watching him during the anthem, and I was like, oh my God, there's Sidney Crosby over there. And I get to play against him, and then the face-off, I don't even think my stick touched the ice. He swept it back so fast. So
it was a cool story. McDavid was telling it. His eyes lit up, the video I saw, telling the story. It's just cool that a guy like McDavid still is like, holy shit, that's Sidney Crosby. You know.
How close was Ovi to being Panther?
Have you ever heard this story?
No. Back in 2003, Florida drafted Ovechkin, who missed the cutoff to be drafted in 2003 by 2 days. Florida GM Rick Dudley argued that due to leap years, Ovechkin should be 4 days older and therefore was eligible for the draft. Other teams stormed the draft floor in protest, but didn't matter, and the NHL ruled that Ovechkin was ineligible. In protest of the protest, the Panthers took Ovechkin every round of the same draft. They were denied each time. The team wanted to document it in case it came to an arbitration case, which never happened because he went to Washington when they drafted him first overall. That's pretty crazy. I didn't know that.
But I mean, good on Dudley for going down swinging. Like, fourth round pick, Alexander Ovechkin. Fifth round pick, Alexander Ovechkin.
Stick to your guns, man.
Yeah.
We all take less to get more. In 2001, Detroit wanted to sign Brett Hull, so GM Ken Holland approached Brendan Shanahan, Nicholas Lindstrom, Steve Eisman, and Chris Chelios and asked them if they'd be willing to defer $500,000 of their salary to the following season. They all immediately agreed per Holland. The Wings went on to win the Cup over Carolina in 5 games. Hull, 10 goals, 8 assists, 18 points in 23 games played. Pretty good. All right, we're going to dumb change.
All right. Have you seen this story? Zuck versus Musk?
I think Elon Musk would fuck up Mark Zuckerberg. But
not a chance, dude.
You think Zuckerberg's tough, dude?
I think Zuckerberg's been doing jiu-jitsu nonstop. He would make him tap out or break his arm. So anyways, Mark Zuckerberg, ever since Mark Zuckerberg announced a rival app to Twitter, this was only a matter of time. Elon Musk challenged Zuck to a cage match via tweet, and Zuckerberg replied with the send me location.
I love a cage match.
But basically just pull up. The Toronto Blue Jays define mid. In their last 1,000 games played, the team is 500 and 500. Like, that's just horrible.
Not great.
The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, he cracked staggering 1 million cases of his Terramana tequila in annual sales. Only 10 other tequila brands have crossed this threshold in their entire existence, and Terramana is only, I think it said to 2021, so it's only 2 years old. I mean, I'm sure a lot of it's because of him, but it's good tequila too. And 2 signs of the end times. Tarantulas are coming out of the ground in Texas in droves to breed. And what's being called...
That's some spider fucking, dude.
And what's being called is one of the most spectacular spider events ever. Male tarantulas are...
Wait, hold on, dude. Whoever's calling it the most spectacular spider event is a sick motherfucker, dude.
Well, it's like there was some scientist at Texas A&M or something.
You see those tarantulas fucking, dude? Bro.
Is watching animals breed, is that porno?
Weird porno.
Male tarantulas are exiting their burrows looking for love. The spiders can lay up to 1,000 eggs at one time, and their breeding cycle runs May through July.
Okay.
To not be topped, Florida, of course, an area in Broward County is in quarantine due to a breakout of giant African land snails, which are invasive and, of course, as snails, slimy. The snails can grow up to 8 to 10 inches in length and lay 1,200 eggs a year.
You can't leave your house if you live in this county?
Yeah, it's quarantined. Yeah. Well, it's not the whole county. It's part of it. It's like 4 roads.
And you can't leave your house?
Quarantine, buddy.
Over my dead fucking body if a snail's lying.
Because I mean, it doesn't seem hard to get snails, but they have to, you can't just squash them. You got to scoop them up, I guess. And sadly, as we alluded to earlier, the Titan sub crew has been assumed lost at sea as there are reports of a catastrophic failure on the vessel as the U.S. Coast Guard believes they have found the tail cone of the submersible.
I'm not getting into it.
I will ask you this.
No.
Would you rather go to the bottom of the ocean or to outer space?
Neither.
You had to pick one.
I'm a fucking peasant from Middle Grove, dude. I'm never going to have even close.
Well, all right, let's say you could go military in a military sub or on the fucking shuttle, whatever the thing is. I mean, listen, you got to be a fucking. It's horrible that these people died, but you kind of asked for it. You know, you will go.
I hate heights, but when I'm on a plane and we're in the air, it's like Jesus take the wheel. There's really nothing I can do. If I'm underwater, they imploded, dude. The pressure imploded the sub.
It was a fucking handmade submarine.
The sub.
What are they doing? It's idiotic.
It is one of the most like each person paid $250,000 to do that.
Yep.
You're telling me you can give me a couple sheets of fucking tin and a hammer. I can't convince people to fucking go floating in the middle of the ocean.
I mean, once again, I will say it's tragic that anyone loses their life over something like this. But
agree.
There's also
you're a fucking asshole.
There's part of it like if your parachute doesn't open and you go skydiving, that's kind of on you for going skydiving. No, if you get eaten by a shark, easily stay out of the ocean.
All right, dude. If this was a bigger platform, I feel like I'd get a lot of backlash from this. But if you're spending $250,000 to do this, you are the epitome of a fucking asshole. There's no other way around it. $250,000 to do this. Go fuck yourself.
And with parts that they bought at like RV World on this sub.
Go fuck yourself.
But you know what else though about the sub? At the bottom where they were, it's very cold. And and when it's cold, I would have told these guys to go over to heatedcore.com before they went.
Oh, man. All right.
It's a heated base layer that system that keeps you warm.
Holy fuck.
Very thin and lightweight. Would have been great in a sub. 3 adjustable heat settings. Lasts up to 6 hours on one battery. It's carbon fiber heating elements. Heat quickly and are extra durable. Because it's a base layer, you can feel the heat almost instantaneously. Batteries can be used to charge other devices like cell phones or like an Apple Tag, maybe if you're lost.
Maybe the submarine remote.
Yes. The website is heatedcore.com. # outlast your adventure.
Listen, dude, if South Park's definitely going to do an episode of this, so you cannot be mad at us for laughing at this. Like, it's sad, but like, dude, you spent $250,000.
And you could have saved even more if you used the promo code morningskate15 at heatedcore.com.
And one of the dude's sons is on Twitter telling girls he's single. Like, I don't feel that bad about it.
Yeah, I don't know if that's legit. If that's
I think it is. So that's how come I don't care. I don't care.
Well, do you have heatedcore.com.
Anything with the Bruins?
Yeah, one quick thing. Where is it? 20 years ago this week, Patrice Bergeron was drafted in the second round of the 15th pick of the second round, 45th overall by the Boston Bruins. The Bruins picked Mark Stewart in the first round with the 21st pick, and Bergeron fell to them at 45.
Was he? I don't know if you remember this because that's a really long time ago. But was he like a World Junior player?
Yeah, he won a gold. I believe he's triple gold club.
So when he was do you remember him as like a draft pick?
I remembered him as much as I remember any draft pick, unless it was like Joe Thornton or Tyler Seguin, first or second overall.
See, I try to remember our draft picks because we don't ever have ones that hit. So, like, I'm just hoping one of these days one will. You know what I mean? Like,
over the law of averages. And you have a good GM, so.
Is he?
I don't know. He's only been there 2 years, so.
All right, well.
What do you got for Rangers? Anything?
Well, hold on. It only took us 39 minutes for you to talk about Bergeron. It's actually really funny because
is that the record?
I listened to last week's podcast, and I think we're at 3 minutes 18 seconds before you mentioned Patrice Bergeron. So we should probably. I'm going to start keeping a tally of how long it takes you to mention him. We already kind of talked about the Rangers. We got Laviolette, Housley, and Pekka. I'm okay with all three of those guys coming in. I hate Chris Kreider and Mika Zibanejad, honestly. At least Patrice or Artemi Panarin's doing something to fucking. He shaved his head. Get rid of the demons. I do that when I'm drinking a lot and I feel like I'm gonna throw up. I pull the trigger. Get rid of the demons. So, yeah, I don't know, dude. We're fucked. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, we have a Norris Trophy winning defenseman and a Vezina winning goalie. So maybe we're not that fucked. But if our main player is playing a set at Lollapalooza and our second main player is in the fucking middle of the hotel lobby playing a piano, I think we're gonna have big.
Explain to me this. Does he do this constantly, or
yeah,
is it like a one-time thing?
Oh, he has his own songs. He writes
his own songs.
I don't think as a DJ you write them. I think you make them.
No, not that. I'm talking about Chris Kreider.
No, he plays the piano. He's a fucking nerd, dude.
Is this like a common occurrence when they're on the road? He just pulls up.
No, they just mentioned it one time and it pissed me off.
Oh, all right.
Just a weird dude. Like whenever he's interviewed, like they ask him, "Hey, Chris, how's everything going?" And it looks like somebody just killed his dog, and he's like, "Oh," we're really out. He's just a fucking weirdo, dude. Like, he is so fucking weird.
He's from Connecticut, right? Connecticut?
No, he's a masshole. And he actually played with Garnet Hathaway, prep school.
Oh, yeah?
In Mass. I see that you got some Northeastern stuff. Have you heard back from any Northeastern people since the last podcast? Or are we good?
No, we're fine.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
For those wondering, I called Brownie in a panic the next morning, being like, well, So, shout out.
Good. I haven't heard from Carp, but he's busy right now. He's out on the recruiting trail. Carp's got a lot of irons in the fire, and like I said in the thing, Larry David, he said everything's going pretty good. Carp is very excited about this upcoming season and his draft class coming in, and he's got some feelers out for some other players. So he's Carp's earning that paycheck. But one new player through the transfer portal, Rebecca Van Stone is transferring over from Yale. She's a senior.
Get her on the pod. Get her on the fucking pod, bud.
She's a senior forward, and Yale plays a very complex system as well. So I think she's going to do really well. I think she's going to slot into that top 6 nicely.
When Cornell played Yale, one of their chirps was safety school, which I thought was really funny.
Yeah. I like the Northeastern one's pretty good. The dog pound. They have some good ones. Like every time someone falls, they're like, ice is slippery.
Yeah, that's not bad. Didn't George W. go to Yale, or did I make that up?
I think so.
I think he's a Yale product.
Yeah.
I have nothing for beer league. I pulled my fucking quad in softball. I'm old, so I got an ice back on right now.
I was supposed to play last night, fell asleep on the couch, woke up and went, oh shit, I got a game. And I looked at the bench app on my phone, and the skate was called off because not enough guys signed up. So I was like, all right, well, there you go. Shout
out to my buddy Fabian. He's trying to get me involved in the roller hockey circuit, which I might start doing, but my blades are in my truck getting fixed right now. So
hopefully. I played roller when I lived in South Carolina before they had a rink where I lived. It's a lot of fun.
Do you have any heroes and zeros? Because we literally just did that like 2 days ago.
I have actually 2 heroes, no zeros.
Okay. So I'll play the music, dude.
All right, so my first hero, I'm going to take a page out of your book. My first hero is me.
Hey, boy.
Because today, my wife and daughter came home. My daughter went back. School's been out for like a week, but they were hatching monarch butterflies in the classroom. And monarch butterflies grow in a chrysalis, not a cocoon. A cocoon is moth. Chrysalis are butterflies. My daughter's learned all about them. I've learned all about them. So out of all these chrysalis, 7 have not hatched. Those 7, where are they now, you ask? They are in my kitchen. So we took those home.
What do you mean they're in your kitchen?
They're
flying around in your kitchen?
No. The chrysalis are like cocoons. They're in this like netting thing, and
I thought they were just flying around. I have an extra bug zapper. I don't know if you know.
So these monarch butterfly chrysalis are in my. Well, now they're actually in my wife's car on the way to her parents' house right now, because they were taking them down in case they hatch over the weekend.
Okay.
They can release them down there. So that's the first part. The second part is one of my daughter's teachers has 2 guinea pigs.
Ugh.
And she's going away in July, and my wife volunteered to take these fucking guinea pigs for a week. And I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, what? I go, do these guinea pigs, do they go out of the cage? Do they stay in the cage? Do you have any idea? She's like, I don't know. Why? What's the difference? I'm like, if they go out of the cage, Louis is going to kill them, our dog.
No, you just keep them in the cage and just put shavings in there. And every couple of days, clean out the shavings, make sure they have water, they'll live.
No, I'm not worried about that. But do you know how fucking loud guinea pigs are at night? If they're used to being out and you lock them in,
put them in your truck, dude.
That my truck's gonna smell like guinea pig. So one of my heroes is me for dealing with all this. My second hero,
not all heroes wear capes, dude. Good job.
That's right. Some have pets. My second hero is the Petrangelo family. I forgot about this in the last podcast, and I wanted to mention it. Do you remember what happened to his daughter? We talked about it.
She got sick, I think, right?
He had a 4-year-old daughter, Julia, who had encephalitis, which is basically an infection of the brain, if I remember correctly.
Not great thing to have.
And she was in rough shape. He had to leave the team. I think he missed like 10 games in the middle of the season. But she basically had to learn how to re-walk all her motor skills. And she was on the ice. She was on the ice after the Stanley Cup celebrating with her dad. And it's so for all them and what they've gone through, there's a hero for you.
That's pretty good, dude.
Yeah. Try to make it positive,
Fuck, do I have any?
You gonna pull one out of your ass?
I mean, we went 2-0 in softball, so my leadership skills are fucking uncanny. Shout out to my buddy Thorpe. He moved home from Seattle. He got a job at Ford. Didn't really like it. Ended up moving home. We've been abusing his boat, and it's been a great fucking time. I fished more. It's June 22nd. I fished more this summer than I probably have any other summer in my whole life. Like, nice. It's been pretty fucking cool. And he's on the softball team, softball circuit. I mean, it's been a really, really good summer, dude. Knowing what I know, I don't know. Life's good. Life's good. Yeah. So I guess like hero, life is good. Zero. Did anything really piss me off? Probably cancel culture, dude. Just because like I've been watching a lot of the major leagues, and the Cleveland Indian logo is an all-time fucking logo.
What are they called? The Spiders? No.
No, but we should call them the Spiders.
Guardians?
Okay. But if you watch Major League, cancel culture or whatever was not even remotely in the thoughts of that movie because they could have picked any MLB team to fucking do that with, right? Like,
well, I think they picked the Indians because they were longtime lovable losers.
Maybe that's why. But I also thought it was weird. So I watched Major League 1 and 2. Wesley Snipes was in Major League 1. And then Major League 2, there's a different actor.
Oh, is it Omar Epps, right?
It could be.
Yeah, I think so.
But they replaced him, and
they were just like, oh, you want to talk about cancel culture? Before they worried about that stuff, they're like, oh, we'll just get another black actor.
Yeah, but what's weird is it's like, I know that was Wesley Snipes' era, and that's what Thorpe said. He's like, they probably couldn't pay him. But Charlie Sheen was in both.
Charlie Sheen was a fuck-up dude and needed money.
Back then, though, Charlie
Sheen's been a fuck-up for 20 fucking years, dude.
No,
it finally caught up to him.
Charlie Sheen was in Major League. He was at peak Charlie Sheen.
It caught up to him. He drank and drugged his way through Hollywood for 20 fucking years. 100%. And it finally caught up.
There was only like a couple years between Major League 1 and 2. Like, I think...
Is Tom Berenger in number 2?
Yes. So my question for you, who was the bigger actor during that time? Was it Charlie Sheen or Wesley Snipes?
Probably Wesley Snipes.
Is it even close to being even? Because Charlie Sheen was in a lot of movies, though. What else was Wesley Snipes in?
Wesley Snipes was in a movie like Passenger 57. I remember the tagline was always bet on black. He was a badass on a plane. He was fucking Blade. He was at vampire movies. He made a movie with Sean Connery. He made movie. He was big time.
I know he was big.
New Jack City. Yeah, he was real big. White Man Can't Jump.
Oh, was that Wesley Snipes?
Yeah.
So they're coming out with a new White Man Can't Jump.
Yeah. It's one of the guys from Ted Lasso.
With Jack Harlow, who's like a rapper. He plays the white dude in that.
I don't know who Jack Harlow is, but
he's a rapper. He's like pretty popular right now. Have you watched the new Avatar movie?
Yeah, stupid.
Don't watch it.
It's the same fucking plot as the other one.
Okay. I'm glad you told me that because I was going to watch it.
It's a waste of 3 hours. Actually, it took me like, when I watched it? I watched it when I had food poisoning, and I watched it in like 40-minute installments over 2 days. And every time I put it on, I'd fall asleep.
Okay.
The special effects, great. Okay. Great with your computer animated. By 30 minutes in, it looked like fucking cartoons.
Dude, you know what's funny is who's the director? Is it James Cameron?
Yeah, the other Titanic fucking loser.
There's a South Park episode where he needs to raise the bar, and he goes to the bottom of the ocean to raise the bar. Did you ever see that? No. And he's in a submarine. Makes you think South Park's way ahead of their time. So
yeah, definitely.
That's one of the funniest shows of all time. Do you like South Park?
Oh yeah. Respect my authority.
So they had like this whole PC culture season, which is hilarious because it chirps the one side for being like very, very soft about shit, but then it also makes Mr. Garrison Donald Trump, and it makes him look like a fucking idiot. So I thought it was.
They're very even-handed acroff the board,
exactly.
Making fun of
that's
everybody.
What I was saying.
And that's the key to it.
Yes, 100%. Now, how do they get away with like they have a Mark Zuckerberg episode where he just looks like a fucking idiot? Like, how do people not? They don't get sued?
They might, but they don't care. They have so much fucking money. You remember that they're also the guys behind what's the play?
And they push the fucking buttons on that show.
What's the fucking play? What's the play? They were on Broadway.
Hamilton.
No.
That's the only Broadway show I
It's
know.
about Mormons. The Book of Mormon. Duh, fucking idiot. I saw it on Broadway. The Book of Mormon is their Broadway play that it's probably still running, and it was hugely successful, and they made millions and millions of dollars. Plus, they made movies basketball. They have the World Force Police, whatever that puppet movie, plus the South Park movies. And what's the overhead on South Park? Minimal.
So I have three things. One, when I was a kid, I asked my dad if I could rent the South Park movie, and he saw it was a cartoon. Dude, I must have been 9.
The uncle
he's like, it's a cartoon. Put it on. He puts it on. And he fell asleep. He woke up about an hour in. He's like, what the fuck are you watching? Number 2, did you know that Ike is played by the kid's daughter? The dude who writes its daughter, like the voice.
Oh, really? No, I didn't know that.
And then number 3, not South Park related. Did you know that they're coming out with a Twister next year? You ever see the movie
2?
Twister with Bill Paxton and Helen Hunt? They're coming out with another one.
Why are you saying it like that?
I don't know, because that was one of my favorite movies growing up.
Oh, all right. I thought there was going to be some. Is it Helen Hunt again?
Because
Bill Paxton died.
Have you seen Helen Hunt? Not great.
He died.
Bill Paxton, rest in peace.
I will say this. I saw a movie recently on Netflix with Helen Hunt called I See You.
She looks terrible.
I don't care. It's a fucking lights out suspense movie.
It's a scary movie.
Suspense, not scary. It's not a horror movie. It's suspenseful. It's excellent.
Okay. Well,
big twist. You don't see it coming.
I see dead people.
You want to know another one about South Park? Isaac Hayes, the guy who played Chef, the old singer, the soul singer, he quit the show after they made fun of Scientology because he's a Scientologist.
Fucking weird, dude. All right, last segment, 3 stars. All right, 3 stars. So I think I wrote down 3 questions. I really hope that I did.
Wait, 3 questions. I thought we were doing the parade.
Oh, yes, that's what I meant. I have it right here.
Oh,
I had my 3 spots. So Vegas had a cool parade. William Carlson was all sorts of fucked up. They tried taking the mic from him. It's really fun.
Dude, they shut down the Las Vegas Strip. That's fucking unbelievable.
I think the last time they did that probably was when Elvis died. I just made that up.
Probably the shooting, but yeah.
Okay, you're correct.
Sorry to bring you down. You look so sad. You want to talk about the sub again?
I'm telling you what, dude. If we had millions of followers, we would be so fucked. Someday, buddy. Top 3 places we'd have a parade. My 3rd star, New York City.
No, top 3 places we'd have a parade that's like out of the ordinary.
Oh, well, I'm going. I didn't know it was out of the ordinary.
I'm just saying, like, it doesn't matter that the city, like, if the Bruins win the parade, obviously it's going to be in Boston, but I'm thinking of other places to have a parade, I guess.
Well, you haven't had a parade since '94, so my 3rd star is New York City. I think it would be fucking really cool to relive what the fuck they went through. Like, that would be the tits. So my 3rd star, New York City.
Okay. I'm going to hit you with my honorable mentions first. I have Mulholland Drive in Hollywood. That's where all the movie star mansions. It would just piss them off, and I think that'd be great.
Okay.
Broadway in Nashville, I think would be sick to have a parade down Broadway.
Would be fucking packed. Yep.
With all the bars and everything. And similar vibe is Ocean Drive in South Beach, Miami. Would be another one.
Okay.
So my number 3, and this is mostly to piss people off, Route 28, Cape Cod. It's 1 lane each direction. It'd be fucking great to have a parade in the summer there and just piss the entire Cape off.
Oh, they'd be so mad. So many rich fucking people just
It'd be
piss
fucking great. So that's my number 3.
My 2nd star, I'm going to shout out to my dad. I'd have it right at the Daytona 500.
Oh, just going around?
I think that would be unreal.
What is it, a mile? Is it a mile around?
It's not a half mile, so I'd say it's probably a mile.
But aren't those things so steep you can't walk on them?
Which makes it even funnier. Imagine drunk people walking on that bitch.
They falling down. Sprint back up. Run that hill.
Emily Kaplan would fall every time she took a step, dude. That gremlin. So that'd be my 2nd star.
All right, my 2nd star is the main drag of Key West is Duval Street. And I just think it'd be sick. Like if I had a day with the Cup, I would take it to Duval Street in Key West and take a parade right down Duval. I have personally been on a float in a parade down Duval one time long ago. but it would be cool to be in it for the Stanley Cup.
I like that.
In drag, I was on a float, but
Brownie. My first star is a Battlefield to Saratoga. Now, people might not know a lot about Saratoga, but I'm gonna let you know this for free, Brownie.
all right, hit me.
Without my hometown, you'd be talking like this, mate. You'd have quite the British accent, bruv. But this Battle of Saratoga was a turning point of the Revolutionary War.
Is that true?
Yes, we told the British to shove it right up their fucking hoop. I hate British people.
So wait, you're saying that Boston had nothing to do with the Revolutionary War?
Google it right now. What was the turning point of the Revolutionary War? It was the Battle of Saratoga.
I have a friend who's like a scholar in the Revolutionary War, and I'm going to ask him tomorrow.
You should. And
All right.
shout out to Hal, the only person I know that has ever gotten a drinking ticket at the Battle of Saratoga.
What is the Battle of Saratoga?
Or the battlefield? Sorry.
Oh, it's an actual field.
It's a giant field. It's like a huge thing, and we were boozing, and he got caught. I'll never forget it. We got to we were like running from this guy, got to the car, and he like pulled the taser on us, and he's like, "Don't move." And then Hal got a ticket,
like a public drinking ticket.
Oh yeah, and this dude, the guy who had the taser was not qualified at all to have a taser at all.
How old were you?
20.
That's
maybe?
awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, my number one, Bourbon Street, New Orleans.
Oh, that'd be pretty fucking cool.
That'd be sick. I mean, it's disgusting and filthy, but it would be awesome.
It is everywhere.
You'd be throwing beads all over.
Throwback to the girl who fucking went tits out for the boys on the glass when Washington won in Vegas. I was really hoping she was going to make an appearance. Nobody has ever really brought her up before. My type. So,
well, listen, lastly, if we didn't mention your city and you're upset about it, go to BetterHelp. I'm going to sneak this one right under the final horn.
Cast that thing out there, dude.
BetterHelp is the world's largest therapy service, and it's 100% online. With BetterHelp, you can tap into a network of over 30,000 licensed and experienced. I don't know why I'm laughing through all these reads tonight. I just am. They can help with a wide range of issues. To get started, you just answer a few questions about your needs and preferences. That way, BetterHelp can match you with the right therapist from their network. Then you talk to your therapist however you feel comfortable, whether it's via text, chat, phone, or video call. You can message your therapist at any time, schedule live sessions when it's convenient for you. If your therapist isn't the right fit for any reason, you can switch to a new therapist at no additional charge. With BetterHelp, you get the same professionalism and quality you expect from an in-office therapy with a therapist who is custom picked for you, more scheduling flexibility, and a more affordable price.
BetterHelp.
Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/themorningskate. That's betterhelp.com/themorningskate.
And that's what we have for you guys today. So, Brownie, anything else?
My question is, how many people stuck through that ad read to hear me wish Jerome McGinley all the best? Because I feel like
you have at least one, and it's me.
I feel, and Jenks. I feel like there's people that are wait for this, and they go, all right, now my week's okay. And Jerome, I hope you hear this, buddy. And listen, with all these guys leaving, you can sign me to a veteran minimum. I can play right wing. I can crash the boards, kill a little PK time. Well, I'll fight for you. What do you tell me? Whatever you need, bud.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. I'm going to shut this down before we get to an hour. Thank you so much for coming.